Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to go over today the effective ways to lose weight. We're going to go over weight loss basics, things just to know, you may know already. Nutrition, so things to look out for, ways to work in the kitchen on weight loss, that's the most important part. Reading food labels, types of exercise, and finally some tips and takeaways that you can take away and use for yourself and maybe to help others. All right guys, so this video, like I said earlier, we're going to go over weight loss. So the most important part of weight loss is nutrition. So everyone always talks about abs are made in the kitchen. Well, that's primarily true. Think of losing weight twofold, okay? It's, when we talk about the amount of calories, the amount of energy, it's taking in less and burning more, okay? Those are your two ways to lose weight, okay? So we want to have a calorie deficit. What we mean by that is you have less calories, you're eating less calories than you're burning. Now that does not mean, does not mean to starve yourself. If you starve yourself, you will most likely gain back more weight. I'm not going to go into the science of that. It's more of your body protecting itself. But if you cut your calories too much, it can be dramatic. The best way to cut out calories is small amount. So let's say 500, maybe up to 1,000 at first. But that's, you have to take those in small chunks. There's plenty of foods that promote weight loss. So the biggest things is fruits and vegetables. You can pretty much eat those as much as you want, okay? I always try to tell people for snacks, try to get more vegetables, more fruits, even like nuts and things like that, trail mix. That kind of stuff is gonna help promote it. It's good, healthy food, stuff that you can read and you can understand, okay? Lean meats. Now, I'm not for or against any type of dietary choice. If you're vegetarian or vegan, obviously you don't eat meat, but if you do, I would suggest it. It has a lot of different proteins and a lot of different amino acids that all vegetables and things like beans and stuff don't necessarily have. What I personally do is I try to shoot to eat meat about 3 to 4 times a week, okay? The other half is typically full vegetarian meals or very little bit of meat. You're eating meat, I would try to make it diverse, so things like chicken, beef, fish. Fish is a great source, and try to stay away from more fatty stuff. So a little tip on that is the more legs it has, the worse it is for you. So fish don't have legs, and then you think of like chicken as 2 legs, and then pork, beef that has 4. So it's kind of a little way to think about it, okay? Good fats, so things like avocados, I mentioned nuts, those actually help with your body functions, help with your blood flow, and actually digest a little better. So it's good to have those in. And the number one thing you can do to help is increase your protein. Protein is not stored as fat. The only 2 things that your body stores is carbs and fats. So if you increase your protein, not only does that help promote muscle gain and protein synthesis, which essentially is just building your muscles, it also helps in weight loss. If you eat more protein, your body cannot store that fat, and then you gain more protein, you gain more muscle, you lose your fat or your extra weight. And not only does it help there, but then it also creates more of a burn. It creates more of a calorie intake, so that means you can afford to eat more calories, okay? So increasing the protein. We're gonna go over a way to find that later, but these are just a couple tips. Also, the last thing I want to talk about with nutrition for weight loss is water. Water is super important. It has a lot of things that it does to the body. It helps your body function. It helps the stomach digest. It helps your skin. It helps your brain. It helps your sweat when you're working out. So make sure you're drinking water. If you drink more water, it will aid in weight loss. It will help the body function and get it out of the system a lot easier. As far as water goes, I would shoot for anywhere from 2 to 3 liters a day, depending male, female, if you're working a lot outside or you're working out, but essentially just drink as much as you can. All right guys, so now we're gonna talk about the exercise that you should try to shoot for weight loss. So we can kind of generalize exercise into 2 parts, right? Cardio and weightlifting. Most of the time when you think of cardio, you think of stuff like running, swimming, biking. When you think of weightlifting, you think of barbells, dumbbells, like the guy doing the curls or the squats, or the super heavy, long rest kind of stuff. The best exercise you can do if you want to lose weight is right here in the center. It's a combination of both. What you want to do is, hit right here in the center. Why is that? Because multiple reasons. You're going to be able to do mixed modal things, so different types of movements, of exercises, things that promote weight loss, as in cardio and get your heart rate up, and then also lean muscle gain with lifting weights. Okay, you want your ideal heart rate when you're losing weight, or goals to lose weight, is about 75%. Now, is that possible for everybody? No. It should be what you can sustain. So let's say we're working out for 10 minutes. Is it better to go really hard for like 2 and then die out for the next 8? No. But is it really good to go really slow for all 10 at kind of a talking pace and everything's all good? No. Middle ground. How hard can we go but sustain it, keep it going? So in that case, how long can you keep a pace or keep moving for that 10 minutes? Main thing is think when you're exercising to combine cardio and weight training. Okay, that's going to be your best way to lose weight. All right, guys, so the part you've been waiting for on this one, the tips and the takeaways. So now we went over just the basic stuff of nutrition for weight loss. So now we're going to go over, how do I lose weight? How do I actually do it? It's a couple calculations. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is find your total energy expenditure, your TEE, and then eat 300 to 500 less calories a day. Okay, if you didn't watch our last video, the way to calculate that out is on there. But I want you just getting in the mindset, essentially, of just eating less. Like if I just erase that, okay, less what? Calories, but just think of maybe portion size. Drop your portion size a little bit, okay? Increase your activity and do either HIIT training or cross training at the pace that you can sustain. So activity just essentially means getting out and doing stuff. Going out on walks, playing with your kids, bike rides, whatever it may be, okay? Just getting off the couch. Also try to shoot for, if you're doing exercises, more of higher intensity stuff, cross training, but at your pace, okay? Something that you can keep going and you look forward to. The worst thing that can happen is if you get into a new exercise routine or follow a new program and you're like 3 days in, you're super excited, and then a week goes by, 2 weeks, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's so hard, it hurts, it's not fun. That's how you fail, okay? Find something that's fun, you enjoy doing, a little push, it's challenging. Don't just go and walk every day, but something that challenges you, but you like to do it, right? Drink 70 to 120 ounces of water a day. This depends on how active you are, male, female. We went over how to find that in a kind of a way you can summarize that for yourself. I would say about your body weight divided by 2. So I'm about 180 pounds. I would try to shoot for about 90 ounces a day. If I'm more active and now I'm working out outside, I would personally try to shoot for more like 2 gallons. Okay. Sleep is super important. Sleep helps recovery, it helps metabolic function, it helps muscles, helps your mind, it helps everything. So sleeping 7 hours a night or more. Okay, and the last part I want to talk about, a couple of equations and math we can use, because everyone likes numbers, is how to find your right macronutrients. So we talked about this last time. We have 3 types of macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fat. We just talked about earlier that your most important macronutrient here is protein. Protein cannot be stored as fat. The way you find this is you times these numbers by your goal body weight. Now, if your goal body weight is more than, I would say, 20 pounds, so let's say right now you're 200 pounds, you want to get down to 150, I would do a max of 20 pounds. If you do any more than that, you run the risk of starving yourself and running into too much of a calorie deficit, which will work at the beginning, but then you'll plateau and it will be detrimental and you won't reach your goal, okay? So up to 20 pounds. So let's say, for an example, I'm using myself, 180 pounds. I'm roughly about that now, but let's just say that was my goal, right? Let's say, I was 190, I want to get down 10 pounds. I would times that by 0.7 for protein, and it comes out to about 126 grams of protein a day. Okay, if I'm eating 5 meals, that's roughly about 25 grams of protein. If you look on nutrition labels, and we're going to go over this if we haven't already, the protein is on there. It shows you the amount and it shows you the serving size. Okay, carbs, you're doing the same thing, 1.2 times 80, you get about 216, that gives you about 43 grams. And then fat's gonna be our lowest at 0.3, and that gives me 54, and that's about 11 grams a day. Now, if you're tracking your food, this is a super easy way to find this. You put in your meal, you put in how much you have, which typically serving sizes are on there, and then that will show you. But these are just some tips and some takeaways. If you have any questions or other things you'd like to see, please leave a message or a comment below, and we look forward to giving you guys more content. Thanks, guys.